All right, welcome back to Not From Boston. I'm Bennett.
I'm Harry, and we got some news.
Yeah, so couple of housekeeping things before we really dive in. Uh, Said in the last episode that we're releasing episodes on Friday. We're sticking to that. This is the only time you're getting two episodes in a week. We can't keep up with that pace.
That's a lot.
We recorded a whole other episode yesterday afternoon, and then hours later, we got two big pieces of news. One being that Nick Pivetta signed with the Padres, which gives the Red
Wah,
Sox
wah, wah.
gives the Red Sox a draft pick, which is very nice. And then an hour later, we learn that Alex Bregman is coming to the Red Sox for 3 years, $120 million. There are two opt-outs after 2025 and 2026, and some deferred money, but the average value of that is 35 to 40 a season.
Insane.
It's a really amazing how like one move just
It changes the whole
completely
season.
changes the whole thing. Yeah.
It changes the whole season. I am sick with the flu, so anybody listening, if you're hearing this noise, that would be me being sick with the flu. But I'm here for the pod, baby. No days off. Yes, we filmed an entire hour and a half yesterday.
Yeah.
And literally an hour later, Bennett called me. He was like, "We just got Alex Bregman." So
Yeah.
that pod is scrapped. Whole different conversation now.
Yeah, because we were talking obviously like we didn't have Bregman. So
Yeah,
um
Christian Campbell talk and that kind of stuff.
yeah. I found out from my cousin Joey because he messaged me and was like, "Hey, like I didn't even see the first text, but the second one just said, since like you now have a Jewish player on the team, you should get his jersey." And I was like, "What?" And then I looked and saw that it was, and that's how I saw it was Bregman.
Breggers.
Okay, so what do you think the Red Sox ceiling was before yesterday, and what do you think it is now?
I'm not even exaggerating. I think this tacks on 5 wins to the win total.
Yeah,
To me, they go from my estimate was 86 wins and a third wild card. That's what I was suspecting. The AL is competitive. Maybe 86 gets you a second wild card. I still think the Yankees win that division. Now, I don't know anymore. I don't know if the Yankees, my chair is so squeaky, Jesus. I don't know. We're much more competitive. Having right-handed power, more protection for Devers in the lineup. Because people forget, I know Devers was hurt a lot of last year, but Xander offered protection in the lineup for Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers is seeing the pitcher's best stuff now. Having two
yeah,
guys that have a lot of power in a lineup. I know Tyler O'Neill hit a lot of home runs, but he's not renowned in the league as much as someone like Bogarts or Bregman. I really think that contributes to 4 to 6 wins, so we'll average it out at 5. I think we win 90, 91 games now, and I think we certainly compete for top of the division. I think AL East this year is giving me 2021 vibes where there's 3 teams that are going to be really good. I honestly
yeah,
think that wild card game in 2021, us and the Yankees, we each won 90 games. I think the Rays won 100 that season. Obviously, the Rays are not going to be competitive, in my opinion, as competitive this year, but the O's
right.
are still solid. The AL East is a tough division. This just makes any American League team in baseball is fuck. Whenever the AL East trip comes, we do not want to play those teams, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's so I think yeah, with before yesterday, I think the Red Sox their ceiling was a wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
And like skating in, our ceiling now is 100% like it's the division. The thing is like the American League is so weak this year. It's
Yeah. Or
so
I
weak.
would say competitive.
Well, no,
All the
I think
teams are equally you know,
well, right, but there's a lot of talent that has transferred from the AL to the
to the
NL. Like
NL.
Juan
Yeah.
Soto, for example, is no longer in our division.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge absence. I really do think that we could win the pennant.
Absolutely.
It's doable. I think the Yankees are now. I would not be shocked at all if the Yankees go and they trade for Arenado as a
I
result
think
of this.
they had offered, I don't know if this is true, but I think John Heyman had a tweet back in December.
Oh, that
They
must
had,
be then it must be true.
yeah, oh my God. They had offered Marcus Stroman for Arenado, straight up. And it got,
That's such an
it
unserious
got like
offer.
immediately rejected. But
Yeah,
I do think they want Arenado.
but it is interesting because like we're the top. We're it's back to the old days. Like we are the top two teams in that division. And we're just like we are polar opposites. The Yankees are an older, historically like players who are historically good, but might be on the decline now, versus a team with a couple of like proven veterans, but surrounded by just young talent. It's still going to be really, really interesting, and I'm so stoked. Honestly,
what do you think this does for the prospects? Because we have a huge pipeline of like middle infield.
So that is like the one that if there's one con about signing Alex Bregman, it's that our logjam in the roster gets even worse.
100%.
It's an embarrassment of riches, so like it's not really a problem. I mean, I think we're gonna see a lot of musical chairs happening in the first half of the season. I think we're gonna see, Bregman start at second, sub in at third sometimes, you know, uh, but I think Yoshida has to go at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
like I think Yoshida has to know that his days are numbered, and when he's out, Devers will switch over. Bregman comes to third. I mean, that is the thing that makes the most sense. That doesn't mean it's like what they'll do because Yoshida has a ton of money attached to him. But I think it's good because it's for the prospects at the very least, because they might still make the roster, the major league roster through spring training, but they don't have the pressure
that
they had until yesterday of like, these are the guys who are going to save this team or get this team across. They don't have to worry about that now. They can stay in Worcester. They can start the season in Boston, but they aren't having to worry about carrying the workload that is now on Bregman.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head of what I was going to say, which is if you're a 22-year-old, how old is Christian Campbell? 22?
He's 22. Roman Anthony is 20.
Yeah.
He's got the attitude of like a 30-year-old. That's amazing. Insane.
But even if you have like a big, personality and a good attitude, if you're a 20 to 24-year-old, you're a kid in baseball terms, you don't know what pressure really feels like.
Right.
And I hear a lot of major leaguers say that, particularly a lot of major leaguers who are late bloomers, where they've come up and their rookie seasons are kind of and then they slowly grew into it. I heard an interesting quote from Christian Yelich a couple years ago, and he was like, you really don't realize how much bigger the level is up here from even AAA. Like, you have no idea. Because he was good his first few seasons, and then obviously he really got good once he left Miami.
Right.
But, like, you don't want to come in as a kid and have the situation be, okay, I need to hit 20 home runs this year. Like, we're not going to the playoffs if I don't perform. That's not conducive to growth in Major League Baseball.
We last saw the Red Sox in the playoffs in 2021, and that was like unexpected. Like, we didn't go into that season jonesing. Like, we were like, oh, we're going to make the postseason.
Right.
I think with Bregman signing, like the feeling that I had last night, I had not felt since like 2016.
Yeah, it feels like we're actually really trying.
And I was like, oh, like not only we're trying, but everything just kind of feels a little more steady.
There's also an actual expectation now. Like, we had expectations by means of overperformance last year. So this year it's like, oh, cool, yeah, they could win like 85, 86 games and make the play. Yeah, they'll probably get bounced in the first round. And now it's like you had a guy who probably at Fenway will hit 32, 33 homers. Like, you have you instantly add, like I said, 4 to 6 wins. That's huge. So he's
going to be knocking balls off that monster.
You know how I feel about doubles. Doubles. He's going to be a doubles machine.
I got to say, I owe Sam Kennedy an apology because I've been on his ass all offseason. I've written about him on the Substack many times.
He did it. He did what nobody thought he was going to do.
He said, we're going to win 90 to 95 games. That feels doable. He said, we're going to win the AL East. That feels doable. And then he said, like, we're not afraid to go over the CBT threshold.
And he did.
And now we went from, I think, like $212 million payroll to $256.
$250. Yeah. Crazy.
Holy crap.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I do. I give him again. Yeah, credit where credit is due. He put his money where his mouth is.
How much credit do you give Breslow on this? Because he held out. Like he really he gambled. He held out
I
this
think
whole offseason to get that deal.
it's hard to know because I think we never know what's really going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there some discussion preemptively that we're not privy to that will come out later? Like, you know how like Mookie Betts, it's now come out like, oh, he actually really wanted to stay, and if we had offered him 20 million more, and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was like he had it on good authority that Bregman would take a shorter deal. Like, I wonder if he knew.
Right.
But I don't know because it worked. But if it
I
didn't
mean,
work, and we didn't, let me put it this way: if we didn't get him, and we didn't get Arenado in a trade, and we didn't make the playoffs,
yeah.
does he even have a job? Like, probably yes, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's risky, but he came out on top. So all you can do is just clap your hands, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth noting that Bregman turned down the Tigers and the
I saw
Astros, both of them offering 6 years,
6 years,
170.
170. Yeah, 170.
Yeah.
Which is
So
let me do some quick math here. But what's
the
what's
AV on there is
AAV?
like I think under 30 slightly. It's like 28.
170 divided by 6. Yeah, it's 28.
Yeah. So I mean, Bregman took the took the money. He took the money, and he clearly wanted to play in Boston. Like clearly that was of interest to him.
It's also like Detroit's kind of an interesting team because they overperformed last year and now look like they'll go back to the postseason. I would think that there's a significant chance they will, but I would assume that he looks at Boston as like, if I go in and do what I can do, it's almost a sure thing that we're going to October, you know?
Right. Yeah. I also think going back to kind of Craig Breslow here, credit where it's due, like it's a really well constructed deal. The deferred money is cool because it just helps with the payroll. But then also having opt out, it's a 3-year deal with 2 opt outs.
Yeah.
So basically it's like 3 1-year deals. I don't actually think that Fleur, stop moving my computer. I don't think that like Breslow will opt out necessarily. I don't think that's a given. Because I think if he finds success here, he's going to want to keep finding success here. But it's great because it just gives him and it gives us so much flexibility in terms of like where Christian Campbell and Marcelo Meyer are, and whether or not he thinks he can go get a better deal elsewhere. Although I don't know a better deal than $40 million a season.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
It's a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think all around, I thought Boston had a good offseason anyway. This is like an A+ offseason now.
Yeah, this takes it from, a 7.5 to a 9.5. Like it's so good. They did, and I, you know what? If I'm gonna re-answer the Craig Breslow question, this gives me faith that he would have found an alternative solution. That's what I'll say. I think honestly, if Bregman had fallen through, he would have pulled off the trade for Arenado. Like it seems like he was like, okay, fuck it, we're gonna do whatever we have to do to get power back in the lineup.
I think that's right, and I now I really am kind of. I mean, if I am in the Yankees front office, like I am calling the Cardinals and
absolutely
trying to put together a real offer for him.
So here's my question now. I thought about this last night. Is there a world in which Yoshida moves at the deadline and Devers is taken off third base and Christian Campbell plays second?
Yeah, there's 100% a scenario where that happens.
Do you think Devers is okay with that?
I think he's gotta be. I've heard a lot of like debate around this as well over like whether his ego will be kind of hurt by this, and I think it's like what is best for the team at that time. Like, is it best for I personally like I think Devers we didn't give him $300 million like for his glove. Like that's not, none of that money was for his on the field performance. It was for the bat. Which is, I know, something that like Steve Peralt has said like similarly. Like it's, I think, giving him all of the time to focus on being a hitter is only going to make him a better hitter.
Yeah,
And I think it just right now the like playing third base, I think puts him at risk for injury, which we what like why allow that risk to exist when it
I
doesn't
agree.
have to?
And I also need to call a spade a spade. The guy is not a good third baseman. He's not a
Yeah,
good third baseman. Like he's had flashes where he makes a great play, but I was just watching. I'm such a geek. Like I'll go watch all the old playoff highlights and shit from years past. And 2018, I was watching last night. And I know he was much younger, still pretty
yeah,
new to the league, but he was at that point like I guess that was his first full season. But the
right.
first game against Houston in the ALCS, he let two balls go like right under his fucking legs. And then I'm looking back at 2021 playoff highlights. I can't speak against Tampa Bay, and there's like backhands going right underneath his glove. Like the
Yeah,
basic fundamentals, he is not executing at third right now. And I've seen him do it. And obviously, who the fuck am I to speak? Like I'm not playing Major League Baseball, but
yeah,
to me, it's like I remember David Ortiz as a kid at first base. He wasn't a bad first baseman. Devers isn't, I guess, like I'm saying he can't play third base. He's like a quote unquote replacement level third baseman defensively. Like I
yeah,
think that he's not going to ever be even a couple levels below Arenado. He's not the worst in the league by far, but like he and Jazz Chisholm at third are kind of comparable, and like Jazz doesn't really play
yeah.
the position. And so
I
to me,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, if you can make the move to get a guy, like you said, take the risk of injury away, get a guy focusing on his bat where, like, we know he has 45 home run power. We know this.
Yeah,
He's been injured twice. 2021, he was playing with that weird, remember he kept taking his arm off the bat? Like he had some weird shoulder injury, and then last year he finished the season with injury. So why not mitigate the risk? What is he, 20? He's our age. He's like 28.
yeah. I think that's right.
So give him another season at third and then potentially shift him off. I don't know. And it is what's better for the team. Like Bregman
Yeah,
is a good third baseman. Like that guy's a serious defender, you know?
yeah. I mean, I'll just say like when you're, you know, when you're a position player, like you are putting, you know, probably like half of your brain into hitting and
Yes.
half of it into fielding, and like you're that is, that is mental real estate to kind of work on your game
Yeah.
in those two different ways. His ceiling, like, yeah, sure, I think Devers could hit 45 home runs. I think his ceiling goes up if he is 100% like locked into hitting. I think he's a DH. It's like, why can't he hit 50?
Yeah. Bro, to me, knowing now that like DH is getting the Hall of Fame, we have two.
Right.
We have two DHs in the Hall of Fame. Jim Thome, who was a first baseman, but also spent
Wait,
significant
David
time.
Ortiz, who's our second?
Edgar Martinez.
Oh, I thought you meant like we as in like the Sox, and I was like,
Oh no, just baseball.
yeah,
No. But then you have guys like Frank Thomas and Jim Thome they played first base, but they also spent significant amounts of time as DH. It just wasn't their primary quote unquote position.
right.
If Devers is like looking at the Hall, that 500 home run number gets a lot easier if he's not spending every day at third base.
I think that's incredibly true. Yeah.
So ego aside, if you want to play the ego game, I'm like, hey, bro, like you can get to the Hall, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a serious deal. So
I also
I don't
think
know.
like it also just for the Red Sox specifically, it's like, oh, you don't want to become a DH, like the one position held by like our most loved player ever. Like
Yeah,
Boston DHs are historically speaking well liked.
yeah, they are. Devers is sitting on 200 home runs, which is kind of amazing because he's only 28.
Wait, did he get to 200? Like
his literally exactly his last home run
yeah.
was his 200th. Yeah, so he obviously had injuries last year.
When did he come up? Did he come up in 18?
17? Remember the Aroldis Chapman home run?
Yeah.
That was 2017. Yeah.
So he's been up for this will be his eighth. Wow, that'll be his eighth season.
Ninth. This is starting his ninth season. 17, 18.
Oh, you're
19,
right. I'm
20,
so bad at math.
You always count the. Yeah, I know. I do that all the time too. Yeah, no, I mean, bro, he's only 28. Like, he'll get. I think he'll hit the 500 number. But anyway, that's all. Tit for tat. I just think it's interesting that there is a world now in which if Bregers, if he sticks around another couple seasons, if he takes those opt-ins and stays, there's a world in which Devers doesn't have to play third as much, which
Right.
love Devers. I'm all
I mean,
for.
Bregman he can play short.
Yeah, bro, he can play anywhere in the infield.
I think there's it's not because I like Trevor Story, but for just being honest,
Bro, we have no idea if he's going to stay healthy. Right. We have no idea.
I'm kind of like, it's just great in that respect. Is like if Trevor Story, God forbid, comes off the board, even just for 30 games.
Yeah.
Like
we have an option now.
We have so many options, but like I think Bregman's a great one to put there.
Again, like you said, it's an embarrassment of riches. Like we have so many options. It's amazing how one versatile player like opens up so much opportunity for your team.
Yeah. Like David Hamilton is now just superfluous.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we have Vaughn Grissom and Christian Campbell. Like,
is he ever going to get used?
Right. I mean, I'm sure somebody is calling us, like calling the Red Sox right now, being like, "Hey, what is your like? Is there a deal to be made that involves David Hamilton?"
It's interesting though, because Bregman could just be a 1 year. Like this could be a stopgap for him.
But that's a great point, because I think if it is a 1 year, that's kind of okay, because it's still a year where Campbell and Meyer and Grissom can all kind of get adjusted, can mature a little bit without the pressure.
Right.
And then if Campbell's ready to go, then like and Bregman's like, I'm opting out. It's like, okay, great. I mean, thank you for your service. Like, see ya.
Yeah. I gotta be honest though, I do not see a world in which he opts out, at least for the first year. Like, bro, $40 million a year. Like
$40 million.
You'd have to be stupid. I mean, I don't know. Like if the Red Sox are good and they get to the postseason and they're within shooting distance, they're close to the World Series, or hell, let's dream a little bit. They win the World Series. If they win the World Series, he's definitely coming back. But
yeah,
I think
the only. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just think that the only thing that's kind of interesting is that the last year of this deal, say he does all 3 years, he's then going back into free agency when he's like turning 34.
Yeah, but what's
he's not going to get
highest AAV in baseball history?
It's Soto. Now
what's his? Oh my god, yeah.
I think it's like 50 something.
That is so insane. 51 million.
Yeah.
And like Shohei would be higher, but he has all the deferred money.
Judge is also 40 million a year.
Wow, that's insane, bro. That is just. Yeah. I just need to take a minute to like recognize that in 2019, I remember sitting on my couch in Christmas of 2019, watching MLB Network because Manny Machado and Bryce Harper were both free agents.
Yeah.
And Manny Machado signed a $300 million 10-year deal, and Bryce signed his is 12 years, 325. Am I right?
It's 13 years.
13 years. And at the time, that was the highest AAV and the highest overall contract in history.
Yeah.
And that was when the conversation started. Like I saw like Harold Reynolds and all those guys. We're going to start seeing 30 mil a year players now. Like 25 used to be considered a ton of money. 30 is the new benchmark. Not even fucking a decade later, 6 years later, 40 is not even the highest AAV. That is so crazy. Like, like Machado's contract looks team friendly now.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah,
it does look team friendly. Like look at what these guys are making now.
I mean, that is actually, I take that back, because this deal with Bregman is a team friendly deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a short, it's an opt out short deal.
But we're spending $40 million a year on one guy.
Hey, you know what? If he does well, then fuck it. If we get back to the big game, then I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's exciting now.
No, I feel like this just adds a whole level of,
Yeah.
You're sitting down on opening day now, like, let's fucking go. Before you come, like, okay, cool, let's see what happens.
What number do you think he's wearing? 2?
He
wore 2 and
Bogarts was 2 last, right?
No, Justin Turner wore 2 when he was with us that 1 year. And then Dom Smith wore it last year.
Yeah. I guess he gets I think he gets 2.
I think if he wants to, he can have 2.
Wait.
That's cool.
Bogarts was not... Was Justin Turner on the team? Yeah, you're right. Bogarts has been gone for 2 seasons. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's been gone since
2023. Yeah.
Yeah.
2023. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I read something interesting, by the way.
Hmm.
that apparently we had reached out to Justin Turner's team about
I
a
saw that.
reunion. I
I saw
wonder if
that.
I wonder if that's still like,
No,
you don't think?
I no way.
Oh,
Are the
Detroit Tigers is what it seems like now.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, if the Red Sox are doing anything else, it's bullpen and
Yes,
it's
pitching.
trading Yoshida, if possible.
They might be.
Um,
I think we're done. To be honest, I think we're
yeah,
finished.
I mean, I truthfully like I wouldn't be trying to trade Yoshida right now because
Nah.
we've kind of taken his legs out from under him in terms of like shopping him this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let him like get through the first half and let him mash and
Yeah.
get his value back up, and then you know what happens
Yeah.
happens. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this now. Here's we did this last episode, but we gotta redo some stuff now.
Okay.
What is your just in the AL?
Yeah.
What is your AL playoff prediction? This does change, in my opinion. This changes things a lot.
Yeah.
I can give you mine if you want to take.
You go first.
I hate to say it. I still think the Yankees win the division. I still think that the Yankees are just a tick more. The roster that they've put together, obviously they've lost Soto, they've added Bellinger, they've added Goldschmidt, but the nucleus of this roster has been the same for 5 years. You know what I mean? I know they don't have Torres anymore, but like, man, that guy's the laziest. I cannot stand watching Gleyber Torres play baseball. It's actually hard. It actually makes me physically upset because he doesn't try. But anyway, that's a different discussion.
Okay.
They have a lot of pitching, starting pitching. I think they're going to hit a lot of home runs. I still think they're going to just edge us a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 games. It's going to be close. I think we very clearly are finishing second, and I think we get the first wild card spot now. I think that jumps us 2 places. I had us at the 3rd wild card spot with about, like I said, 85, 86 wins. I think we win 91 and we finish second and we get the first wild card.
Yeah.
I think the Guardians win the Central. I think the Los Angeles Angels of California, Anaheim, finish dead last. And I think that Texas, I'm hot on Texas now. I wasn't when we first did this. I've kind of changed my mind. I think Texas is going to win the West.
Okay.
So then I think it's Red Sox in order wild card. It's Red Sox. I still think Houston is going to find a way in. It's not good. I don't think Kansas City. I don't think Baltimore. I got to be honest. I don't think Baltimore.
I think Baltimore is not. Yeah.
I don't think Baltimore.
They have a hard path.
Who am I missing in the Central?
Detroit, dude.
Yeah, Detroit. Oh, duh. Okay, yeah.
That's
Detroit.
like waiting.
yeah. No. Detroit. It's gonna be that would be my second wild card, and I think Houston gets the 3rd.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before I kind of give my answer.
Yeah.
Do you like, regardless of like what you think will happen, do you want the Red Sox to be in the wild card series so that they're playing through, or do you want them to have those days off?
No, I want them to play through, dude.
You don't think? Because the thing that's killed us in seasons past is we get tired and we burn out.
But we have a different roster construction this year.
Okay. All right.
2021, I did not want to play the wild card game because we were fitting, like, bro, we had Schwarber playing first base. Like, we were just like fucking putting square pegs in round holes. Like, it was just like great. Like, oh, that guy can catch the ball. Yeah, just stick him out there. Fucking, we had like Kevin Plawecki DH in some games. Like, it was insane.
I really preferred it when it was like a 1-game playoff.
I missed that.
A 2 out of 3 series.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the wild card series, but the 1-game playoff was like electric. That was so sick.
But I'll say that. So yeah, I think Texas, Cleveland, like win their divisions. I think Detroit, and yeah, I guess probably Houston, win wild card spots.
Yeah.
When it comes to who wins the division, I truly think it's a coin flip.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Red Sox purely because I think the Yankees. It happened in 2022. No, it happened in 2023, and it did happen last year. The Yankees will have a bad month.
Yeah. Oh, they'll have bad 8 weeks. Yeah.
They're gonna have one bad month, and it's gonna set them back. And I think it's gonna set them back. I think it's gonna be like literally. You look at the AL East standings. It's gonna be like we win the division, or they win the division either way by like 1 game.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's going to happen. Is I think the Yankees are going to have a bad month, and that's what allows us to win the division.
Cool. I like that. Yeah, I think it's going to be within a game or two. Like it's going to
Yeah.
be 93 wins to 91. I just feel like it's so interesting with the Yankees because they really shit the bed in the World Series, like bad. Like that fifth inning is so bad, and there's really two ways to look at it. There's they come into spring training like fuck that shit. We got a chip on our shoulder. We need to prove everybody wrong. Or there's like holy shit, what did we just do? That might have been our, like there's the anxiety like oh no, that was our only chance. What are we going to do? Like I really don't know what we're going to get from them. Like
I think I think Aaron Boone, not Aaron Boone, sorry. I think Aaron Judge is under a mountain of pressure that
oh,
he hasn't
absolutely.
that doesn't even compare to like when he was chasing 62 home runs.
Yeah.
I think because I think he knows that if he never wins a World Series, like that is his Bill Buckner moment of him dropping that fly ball. And so I think he's like, I gotta show up and I gotta go off. And I think that means either he has another monster 60 home run season or he cracks. I think it's probably going to be the first thing and not the second, personally.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna crack. I don't know if he'll ever like
maybe not crack for Aaron Judge. Like go like take a
like
small
30 homers. Yeah.
right. I think like if you look at the mistakes that the Yankees made in the World Series, and like truthfully, like we're just talking about like the bullpen, like the choices that Aaron Boone made in the bullpen, dropping the fly ball, the play at third, and then Garrett Cole not covering first. Only the bullpen and only the bullpen and center field have been addressed because they got Devin Williams, which is a huge ad for them.
He's so good.
He's so good. He looks. I hate that he had to shave. It's a stupid
Dude,
rule.
I know. I'm actually concerned about him though. I've been watching him for years, and he got that Bugs Bunny change up. Like he is.
Yeah.
He's serious.
And then center field, like Aaron Judge is not a center fielder anymore. It's Cody Bellinger who can make that catch. I mean, so like I think the Yankees are gonna like they're already complaining about how the Dodgers like trash talked them during the World Series, which like grow up. Mm-hmm. Actually, that leave that all behind. This actually leads me to something that I think is really important for this season. Something that I think is honestly more important than the fact that we signed Bregman. I need the Red Sox to get fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Like I need them to be aggressive and I need them to just kind of like stoke some shit. Yeah. I think I just miss the rivalry, A.
Yeah.
But B, like you and I and the fans, like we all feel it when there's drama on the field, but like we're not seeing it as much from them. And it's like, no, like get at it,
I knew we were going to win the World Series in 2018 when the fight with Joe Kelly and Tyler Austin happened.
Oh, yeah.
I knew. I literally was like talking to a buddy about that. We were watching the game together and it was like, it's a wrap. Season's over.
Yeah. I just want another, like, I don't know. I want another, I mean, it's I think asking a lot. I want another, catcher's mitt in A-Rod's face moment.
Yeah. I can't get mad at you for that.
I think, I think like that getting themselves fired up like that, and that in turn gets us fired up like that. Like that is ultimately like that is momentum that carries a team.
Definitely.
And that I mean, sure the statisticians can't quantify, but that does lead to wins.
Yeah, I think like there's a point where the stats thing becomes completely useless because if you're hopped up and there's expectation around you. And there's unity. Like, unfortunately, managers getting ejected creates unity. People fuck that shit. Oh man, like, that leads to wins. So,
like,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think a great example is like the Red Sox and Garrett Cole, like Rafael Devers, and Ceddanne Rafaela, like too. I think to a certain extent, Devers has had Cole's number for years,
for his whole career, pretty much.
Beats him up every time they play. And last season, you have that just humiliating moment from Garrett Cole where he just passively gives the intentional walk. And I like that. I like getting under the skin of the like greatest pitcher in the AL.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, guys, like keep that up because at some point he's going to have enough. And that's when that's when mistakes get made, and that's when things get interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I just think I would like to see. There's also like a scrappiness we talked about in the episode that is not going to get posted, but there's also like a scrappiness to teams that have anger behind them a little bit, or like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Like, you're more willing to drop down the bunt or to steal that bag. Like, you're going to play a little bit more on the nose, and I think baseball needs that, and I certainly think the Red Sox need that. Like, the Red Sox historically are Dave Roberts stealing the base, picking off Colton Wong at first base. Like, there's so many moments in their World Series runs where like they're doing the little things and they're just playing with a little more edge. I think this, for baseball as a product, for Major League Baseball, Yankees and Red Sox being good is a huge win.
It's good for
the sport, and it's going to be good for us because when you have a rivalry reignited, you're going to play, like, you're playing basically like every month you have something to look forward to that's like, let's fucking go, let's get hopped up.
Ooh, really great question. Who on the Red Sox do you think is going to make the All-Star game?
Wow, good question.
Last year we had 3 guys.
It'll be more. I think we'll have like 5. I think it'll be. I bet you Bregman gets it. I bet you he shows up and has a good season.
Yeah.
I think Devers will get it. Why not? Yeah, Crochet. I mean, I said him. We had like a segment in yesterday's episode, which again we are overdoing with this episode, but I think Wilyer Abreu is a stud, and I think he's going to have a really good season, and I think he's going to get an All-Star nod because he won a Gold Glove and he hits the ball a lot. I could honestly see 2 pitchers. I could see Buehler getting it too.
I think you're like leaving out one name that I think is a surefire. Who wasn't an All-Star last year, but I think will absolutely be one this year.
Casas?
100%. I think Casas is going to have like, how Jarren Duran got momentum last year for the All-Star vote, and everyone's like, why is no one looking at Jarren Duran for the All-Star game? I think Casas is going to have something similar. I think that.
I could get into that. He'll be like a reserve. He'll be like an All-Star reserve. Yeah.
Whatever.
Watch it be like Trevor Story is our only All-Star. Do you think he's going to have a good season? Do you think Trevor Story is going to have a good season? Because he looked really good before we went. Bennett and I were at the game where he injured his shoulder.
God,
like
awful.
He looked good, bro. He was hitting the ball. He was making plays. Like
I think if he stays healthy, yes. But every time he gets healthy or gets hurt, and he comes back, all of a sudden he can't hit the ball.
Yeah.
So
do you think that Trevor Story will hit 30 home runs this season?
No.
That's so interesting. He hit like 45. I know it's in Colorado.
Even Colorado.
Yeah, but like Fenway's a hitter's park. If you're moving from Colorado to like Seattle or the Dodgers or anywhere that's not like, obviously Arizona is a high altitude, but the AL East parks, it's like almost the same to me. Like, I know it's not quite, but like, if you're hitting 45 homers in Colorado, you should be able to hit 33 at Fenway or at Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
What's the deepest park in baseball? That's such an off.
I mean, I'm sure it's Coors Field.
Yeah, probably.
I'm almost positive. Also, the for the All-Star game this year, they're going back to players wearing their team's jersey.
I saw that.
Which I'm so on board with.
I don't love the All-Star jerseys. You know what was so silly? Remember when they did the Players Weekend and they had them wear all black or all white uniforms?
Yeah.
They didn't do that last year, did they?
No, they didn't do it last year. I think what they did last year, instead of just they only did the bats. Which can we make the fun bats like normal?
Yeah, I want the Victus pencil bat, bro. That's
who's the dude who had the pencil bat? I want that.
Nick Castellanos, bro.
Of course it is. I want that I want everyone to have it all the time.
Kauffman Stadium is the deepest in baseball. 330 in the corners, 410 in center.
Wait, how deep in the corners?
330.
Holy shit!
Although this says Busch Stadium, it's because center field's so much more shallow.
Yeah.
Guaranteed rate. Some of these names, bro, I'm like, come on, man.
Dude, no, guaranteed rate field is now just rate field.
Oh, that's even worse.
Like, yeah.
Anyway, that's so off topic, but yeah, I agree with the bats thing. Okay, so let's do this. We did this yesterday. Give me one standout performer offensively and one pitcher from the Red Sox that you think will exceed expectations.
Okay, well, if I remember yesterday correctly, I said Von Grissom.
Yes,
My answer is now Alex Bregman.
fair, totally fair.
So I think he had a down year last year, but he mashed it at Fenway Park. If you look at like, Baseball Savant, the number of doubles that he hit for the Astros that would be home runs in Fenway, it's pretty remarkable. I think, I think Bregman's going to have like a bounce back year because he's also, I think, got to prove that he's worth $40 million a year.
Yeah, certainly.
And pitcher wise, I'm still on Walker Buehler.
Cool. I'm gonna go. My answer for pitcher was Liam Hendricks. I'm gonna stick with that. I think I'm a big Liam Hendricks guy. I think he has good stuff. We haven't seen him pitch in a while, but he's obviously had such a crazy, personal life. He had cancer and he's been injured, and but I think he's gonna be good. I really like him, and I think he's a good clubhouse guy. I think he's gonna get motivated by the guys around him. I am sticking with Wilyer Abreu. I'm a big Wilyer Abreu fan. I mentioned this and talked about it at length yesterday. I love doubles. Doubles are my favorite stat in baseball. I like home runs and stuff. That's cool, whatever. But like for some reason, it's like if you hit 350 home runs, but you hit 600 doubles, you're like on the border of the Hall of Fame. Like, bro, doubles are nearly just as valuable. If you hit a lot of doubles, I want you on my team. And Wilyer Abreu, I think he had 33 doubles last year. The guy puts the bat on the ball. He's on base pretty frequently. I think he strikes out not a ton. Would like to see him. I think he was like in the 120s. I'd like to see him cut down on that a little bit, but he's a great fielder, really good outfielder. And I just think he puts the bat on the ball a good amount.
Wait, how many doubles do you think he hit last year?
33, is that right?
That is right.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I remember seeing that and being like, damn, I had no idea. That's crazy. But he's also fast. Like I think he has a lot. He's not a 5-tool player, but like he's a very, very good 3.5 or 4-tool player.
His strikeout rate's a little high. It's
I think he struck out like 120 times. Yeah, so that's something I'd like to see him work on. But I see him make a lot of good contact, and I love me a good outfielder. I just think he's a great player. So I think he's going to have a good year, and we didn't trade him, which is great. And then who is your likely to underachieve player?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who you said yesterday.
I can't remember who I said either, but I think I'm going to go with Jarren Duran, not because I think he's going to have a bad year, but just because he did so well last year.
It's hard to replicate, yeah.
Right. So I think he's going to take he's going to get hit 270 instead of 285.
He'll be good, but not like all-star level, yeah.
And and here's the thing, he doesn't need to be as good as he was last year anymore. I mean, he's still obviously Jarren Duran, please don't slack off, but he doesn't need to be an 8-WAR player.
No. I need Jarren Duran on base to steal. That's what I need. Absolutely
correct. He's a great leadoff guy.
I love him, dude. He's great.
I love a good Red Sox leadoff guy.
Yeah. No, I know.
Damon,
I mean, it's
Ellsbury.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them fucking turncoats. Hopefully Duran doesn't end up a Yankee as well. But
actually, Jacoby Ellsbury turning to the Yankees is actually kind of the best thing ever because he destroyed their payroll.
He basically just didn't play for them. Yeah.
He just got hurt.
Yeah.
Log jam their payroll for
I wonder if he got his 10-year service time. I don't think he did because I think he was injured too much.
He still does Red Sox publicity stuff now.
Yeah, I think he likes, he's with the Nesson guys, but
yeah.
Anyway,
we're also cooler than the Yankees.
I'm gonna go with Connor Wong.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Yeah, we both kind of said Connor Wong. I think. I'm not sure if I take the over or the under on Connor Wong. I don't know. He has power and he has a good swing. I like his swing, and I've seen him hit. I said this yesterday. He has light tower power. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Catching is a tough one because you see guys like Salvador Perez have some years where they hit close to 30 and then some years where they hit 10. It's hard on your body. The more you have to work, the less likely it is that you're going to be productive offensively. And I just don't know. I don't know if I'm super sold on him.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think. Go ahead.
I just say he had to step up
That's what I
last
was
year.
literally about to say. I think he
Oh,
had
okay,
to
sorry.
step
Go
up
ahead.
into. No,
You
I
take
just
it.
I think he had to play a bigger role than I think. Like maybe he had a little boost from that. Um, it's hard to know. I just don't. I always use this term. I get this warm and fuzzy feeling about like, dude, with Bregman, I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna do great.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling it's gonna work. I don't know about Connor Wong this year. I don't have that feeling. I'm not saying I think he's gonna do poorly, but it might be kind of like what you're saying with Duran, where he's like, okay, he regressed a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's probably my answer. But I definitely think overall, just to tie it back to what you were saying at the beginning, this team now has higher expectations. Like I am sitting down on opening day with the expectation that I will be sitting down on the first week of October watching Red Sox playoff baseball,
Yeah. And I don't like I was watching like something that Jaron Duran said today because he was asked about Bregman and he was talking about how um you know their expectations as like as a team as players they aren't different now that they have Bregman. They always like they're like and I think he said something similar last year. He's like, we see ourselves overachieving what everyone expects.
Mm.
And like that is I think so like I think they're already in that space. Adding Bregman in just I think doesn't nullify that. I think they're just like cool. Like that now that's just even better.
Yeah, 100%. I think the team already was coming into this season with their own internal expectations that they would make the playoffs. And now this is like now we're definitely going to fucking make it,
Yeah. I think we're going to get a manager of the year caliber performance from Cora.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
now he has so many players to work with.
Yeah, and he's I think probably after yesterday like he's so gassed up.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean that's his guy. He wanted him. Like he totally by the way, just I'm looking at Sports Illustrated's list of most hitter-friendly ballparks. Fenway Park is number 1.
I think that's like incorrect.
I have a hard time buying that, but it says Fenway Park is ahead of Coors Field. I don't
think that's true.
I guess just because like pop flies are singles there. But pop flies are home runs in Coors, so
right.
I don't know. Anyway, I have high hopes. I think this is gonna be a really, really good year. I don't know. I got nothing else, man. I'm absolutely pumped. I'm pumped.
I think we're good. All right.
Well, I hope y'all enjoy.
And
sorry you had to hear sorry you guys had to hear my sick voice, but we will see you next week. And I think spring training is like a week away from our first game. So
yeah, but I think everybody's already there, honestly.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go.
Hell yeah. See you, man.